I die tomorrow. I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
It is Tuesday night, and it's a double right now. It's just me and Law tonight.
Yeah, the trio is not here right now because Tony's a rest day.
Yeah, Tony needs a rest day, long trip. So Tony, we love you, brother. We'll see you next week, guys. You will catch Tony next week.
Yes.
Also, too, we are waiting for our guests. We have Zackary Marois supposed to be coming on tonight. It's having a little bit of technical issues, so if he can't come on tonight, we may just reschedule him to come back on because he has an awesome book called Voyage, and we did put the Kickstarter link in there.
One of the artists or the colorist that worked on it,
Adam,
man, that's so dope. Small world.
So yeah, the Kickstarter is in the link. So definitely go ahead, support the Kickstarter. The commercial is there. And I think there he goes. So we'll bring Zackary on. Zackary, there you go.
Hey.
Zackary. Oh, sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Good. You came in perfect timing, man.
What's up?
Apparently, I just needed to restart my laptop. It was being unresponsive. So luckily, it did that.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
We've all been there. Trust me.
Listen, I've had to do the show from the phone one time because the laptop didn't want to work.
It's the beauties of a live show.
Well, welcome, brother. We're gonna get into it. So you're joining us. So everybody put on those. This is Zackary Marois. He has a Kickstarter that is out right now. He has one that was fully funded, one that is out right now in a book called Voyage, and we're excited too because we know the colorist Adam Quinones.
Yeah, Adam's my dude, man. I met Adam through my nephew, and then he's been a staple at Beyond Con since.
Yeah, so it's crazy. A lot of people tell me they know a lot about Nick Capone as a colorist, but Adam Quinones, that makes me happy because Adam, for the future of my books that I got later on this year and the ongoing series, Adam is going to be my consistent colorist on that because his color palette.
Oh, that's amazing!
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh man, that is awesome news.
So we're gonna dive right into it with this creator series for you. So I want to just know this. I mean, again, what inspired you to get into world of comics, to jump off the diving board and just deep dive in, and also tell us about your experience at the Kubert School and all that.
All right, so what inspired me was it was I'll give you a quick one. Was 5th grade. Driving down the hall, my dad's driving down the highway. I see a comic store on the side of the building. I pester him. He eventually takes me. I get this book called Web of Spider-Man issue number 66. I read that. I read it 100 times, but the first time I read it, it left such a impact, a feeling I couldn't describe. And I just knew right then and there, I'm like, this is my mission in life, and this is what I need to do. I need to make comics and just give that same feeling, which distracts us in a healthy way from real life struggles that we have. It gives us a nice distraction. And my second one would be being a artist from the beginning and trying to figure things out. I tried to pay attention to what things are around in comics. And one of the biggest ones was there wasn't really any alien characters that was the main character that held very strongly, and I don't even count Martian Manhunter because he's part of the superhero genre.
Right.
And he always gets gaslighted, in my opinion, in a lot of stories. He really does. And the only good run that I saw had to have been Tom Mandrake's run of Martian Manhunter back in the day. And I would like to see, a movie like Avatar. Everyone loved that movie. But the problem with that movie was the obvious, human aspect to it. You get rid of that, the Blue Na'vi people was just amazing. And if we can just get that alone, it would just catapult, different ideas for creators to go ahead and do. Because in comics, we always see a human astronaut, always, experiencing different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
That just was a struggle. I was like, no, get rid of that human element. We're going to actually, dive in as a, experience this book through the eyes of an alien. So that was my inspirations. But the struggles at the Cooper School, it's a boot camp. It's definitely a boot camp for artists.
I
And
heard.
yeah, like you don't get to choose your assignments. You don't get to choose your classes when you first go in. You get immediately, they hand you these 10 courses and you have to get your homework done and hit those deadlines. And it's super tough. First year was a struggle. First year is all about the basics, just kind of getting you into it. Second year, they're honing in on that. Now they're focusing a lot more heavily on how to make your storytelling better, how to paint, different things. And then the third year at the Cooper School is, well, you made it this far. They're going to hone in on what you have done, just to fine tune it, and then it's really just figure out where you fit, what are your strongest things about you, and they're going to expand on that, and they're going to figure out your weakest links and try to get that better. Because the whole thing about being in the comic industry, you can't go in the industry saying, I want to be a penciler, I want to be an inker, unless you're really, really, really good.
Mhm.
It's not going to happen. You have to do everything. So the Cooper School is like really good for that.
Oh, and I see, and I was just like running through your Instagram. I see like the difference in like older, and then as you progressed and everything with your style and all that. So, I mean, what was it like watching your style evolve, and what has been some of your favorite medium to work in while you were attending Cooper School and all that as it evolved?
So, excuse me. Man, I don't think I have a style, but if you do, I really appreciate that. I'm still trying to figure it out, honestly. When I was making very, very amateur comics before I went to school, and I thought, inking was with microns and Sakura pens and stuff. But I go to the school and they introduce me with nibs. You ink with a brush? What? Like all these different tools. And honestly, I don't have a preference. I'll use anything I'll get my hands on. Like as long as the effect on paper is exactly what I want it to be. But outside of that, like it was nice to I think I'm a terrible artist, honestly. I don't think I'm that.
Bro,
Yeah. But
the lies and blasphemy, not on this show.
But looking at my artwork from the beginning, from when I first entered the door at the Cooper School to now, I will say that I have improved immensely from that point. And for everyone who's listening in, the reason being is you cannot have a certain way about handling your artwork. You have to like take down all those mental blocks in your head and thinking, well, he's wrong. Or if somebody gives you critique, you better listen to that critique. Take in all that kind of information. Don't have any limitations, because if you freely open your mind to actually want to learn, you will unknowingly pick up all that stuff and incorporate it into your narratives.
Nice.
Oh, go ahead.
So, about Voyage, because like this doesn't seem like I kind of came up with this yesterday. This seems like a project you've had kicking around in the back of your head for a hot minute. And it seems like you've already established a good bit of story, lore, your character in and out, and you have a lot of world building that you've done. So how long has this been kicking around?
I've created his species of characters when I was in the 7th grade, but I didn't really create characters for the individual that represents his species until the year before I went to the Cooper School. But then when I got into the school, I pretty much started like it was my opportunity to learn. If you're in school, I'll use every single week in between my homework to write and finalize the suit, to the look and just the origin, all of that. And there was plot holes in my writing. I'm not very prominent in writing. Like I know what I want in my head to visually put on paper, but it's very hard for me to write it in script format. And
Very epic.
Brett Melograno, who is the co-creator of this character as well, I asked him for some help to fine-tune some stuff, and he's like a writing prodigy. This guy is so talented. He decided he pretty much took like an hour, and what took me years to really figure out took him an hour to sit down and actually piece it all together. And the reason why he's a co-creator, he's helped finalize so much of his story. And when a reader like you guys and all the people who are listening in, when you read a comic book, that character that you read, that's the first impression that you get off that character. And it's both the writing and the artwork that helps push that impression. So it's not just my artwork and what I had in the beginning, but it's also Brett's contributions as well that makes him just as much as a co-creator as me.
Dude, you were just saying, like, you're not a great dude. This is a lot of detail in this one scene.
I'm not a great artist. Beautiful. Lies, fucking lies, man.
This is actually a story. This is the first page. It's a splash page where Sonderon's in a bazaar, and in the story that I have amongst 16 others, Sonderon is in a smash and grab situation. He's got to go after this artifact hired by this individual, and unbeknown to him, this individual also hired 3 mercenaries to hunt him down and kill him. So what was the motive behind it? Pledge the book, you'll find out. Sonderon, there's all the pages
very detailed without being too busy. Indeed.
But I love it, bro. I mean, and again, your style is just, as I'm just looking at your stuff, and I was like, just going through your Instagram and everything, I was like, dude, you have a fantastic style with the inks, the pencils, and you see everything has changed. But so you put together Voyage, you have your concept for Sanderson. So how is it coming together with all the other artists with finally getting to make this book and everything? What was the processes and everything? Just tell us, what was that process from beginning to end for you?
When I was working during my second year at the Kubert School, I came up with the first volume, and I brought in 23 Kubert School collaborators in that book. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and because I was so far in to knowing my character and his story, it was easy for me to make a book. But the problem was I didn't have enough time to produce a lot of material. So why not just make an anthology? If you really think about it, all your favorite superheroes first appeared in an anthology of some sort. Amazing Fantasy 15. That series is pretty much an anthology run of different characters. And, that's just one example. Hellboy, same thing, appeared in John Byrne's X-Men. So a lot of these creators will throw their characters into something just to get a feel and understanding for that, and that's exactly what I did. And I'm a very goofy person. If you met me, it's hard to take me seriously, but you know that my work ethic is on point. I will say what I will get done what I say I will get done, and that's, I think, one of the biggest reasons why people joined me on this journey. And once the first volume was done, it was very easy to bring them back, including some new blood from the Kubert School as well. So the process to get them together was very easy. To actually get it going, it's hard to bring these guys to give me updates. It's hard to keep track of 23 people. And that's why I wanted to get that taken care of as much as I could before I launched the Kickstarter, because we're at, all artwork for the book is done. We're 90% done with the book. We just got to get it funded, and I got to fine tune some things, and that's it.
Dude. That's amazing. I'm still like just blown away by all of it.
That page.
Bro, it's like, again, the details, the inks, and then how you're going from panels. Again, it flows beautifully from each panel and everything, from what I've seen on your pages and everything here. And there's just even like just looking through like in your Instagram, and everybody can go on your Instagram to see these beautiful shots, these beautiful panels too, that they get a little preview of the book. Like, again, it's just Yeah, bad art is my, rear end, bro.
Yo, yeah, we're not doing this. Oh, not
You're
here.
humble. You're humble, man.
Appreciate it.
So when you got when you got the first book kickstarted, you got it fully funded. What was some of the things and challenges that you learned from your first Kickstarter that has helped you with approaching the second Kickstarter that's out now?
So the first anthology I never kickstarted. I actually self-published that with the boys pretty
Mm.
much. And we got that to take to New York Comic Con before COVID hit. And Voyage the Call was it was a solely focused Sonderon story with none of the other characters. So getting it all together was supposed to be for Inktober, but I said, you know what, screw it. You got to be uncomfortable in trying to
Yeah.
figure out new things in this industry because this industry will eat you alive. And I said, you know what, I'll launch this on Kickstarter. And I learned a lot of things being on that campaign and launching Voyage the Call. And that was supposed to be a horror-driven, Lovecraftian-inspired adventure where Sonderon's having weeks of not sleeping, and it's driving him to a point of insanity. And he starts listening into the call, and it takes him to this dead space in the middle of the universe where it's a ship graveyard, and it's just this entity, within himself that challenges him to succumb and achieve a higher plane. So that's what I did for Voyage to Call, and when I funded it, I took some hard hits on that. Like I definitely went out of pocket. It was a $5,000 goal, and when I funded it, some numbers were wrong, and because of that, I ended up taking a hit. But it's a lesson learned, and I was like, you know what? That was the whole point of running a Kickstarter for my first campaign. I wanted to understand all that stuff. So when it came to this big one, this big book, Voyage Melting Pot, this one it wouldn't have been that hard. And I also have a guy named Adam Watson from comicsmainstream.com. He is my distributor, so all the stuff will go to his warehouse. He will take care of the shipping, so it won't be at my place. It'll be professionally prepped and shipped so everyone can get it as fast as it can. So no one's going to wait for years or a high amount of months, because we have it projected at June, and the only reason why I did that is because of the paper shortage. So people expect it June the latest, and then if it comes earlier, it'll definitely be earlier.
So quick question with that then. Because Laws will be right back. The pandemic hit, and I know it affected everybody in the business and everything in terms of comics, podcasting, content creation. What were some of the things you did to help to adapt into this now pre-pandemic world in the world of comics?
I took that time and invested it into making the story solid with Brett. That was a perfect opportunity because I don't know if anyone else out there has noticed, but the industry has changed hugely within the past year and a half. There was a lot of bad that happened, but there was a lot of good that came out of because of some of those bad situations. And it's opened the door even bigger for independent creators to jump in and finally, open their arms with their ideas and share it to the public. And so I took that time wisely and decided to perfect the story, get the first 6-issue arc written out with Brett, get that prepped and ready so that way I can, do that after Melting Pot is done. And then I just, there's going to be a lot coming. So that time I definitely used wisely to get that. So, and a lot of other creative artists did that too. And that's why you're seeing so many projects on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, even people who are self-publishing it. That's why you're seeing a lot of it come out of the woodwork with really solid stories and ideas. They're really good.
Yeah, man. It's definitely picked up over the last few years. A lot of independent titles have come on, such as Tragedy by Phil Russert. You've had from Sam Vera, he's come out with Catch the Crazies. He's about to drop another one. George Medina's about to drop Wonder Duck, and then seeing what you're doing with this, bro, and then the anthology. I mean, you have Chris Capana on this as well.
Yep.
So I know that that's exciting.
You have a whole squad, and I wanted to get into because you're saying that you found everybody at the Kubert school, and it was kind of easy to pull everybody together. What was the transition from like, all right, you guys are all helping me with my book, you guys down to like form a comic book studio? Like, let's do this.
So, Dwarf Star Comics is my label,
Mhm.
and there's been a couple people that's jumped on that label so far. One of them, who did the colors to my story, is Stephen Michedick. This guy is amazing. He's Instagram is at SkipTunes, but his stuff, it was just so good. He has a character called Troglodyte the Barbarian, and he has such a beautiful, like, story-driven fantasy, story. And he's shy. He doesn't know how to, like, really, you know, force his stuff out there for people. That's why I've been like grinding away. I'm like, dude, jump on this label, get your story out there. I promise. So Troglodyte came in, and then Bobby Chrysophus with his character Brutor jumped on the label. Sam Wolliver's character Scorn, a pot smoking demon, jumped on the brand. So there's different titles that's coming out later this year, but it's taking some time. And yeah, it's tough. I think Voyage Anthology Volume 1, when I finished that book, I think it really opened up the eyes of everyone involved that knew me and realized, like, this definitely is going somewhere. It has a lot of potential. And it pushed all of us to go ahead and further, move forward in our writing and our characters to actually, band together. So some of the people aren't coming in for the label, but because of the Voyage anthologies, I was able to bring some people in with their characters. And it's a great experience. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. It really is. It's really amazing.
No, I mean, Comic Book School was doing their panel 1 and 2 anthologies, and it was just really amazing what they did, especially during the pandemic. And I like to ask, like, comic creators, like, how did you adjust for the pandemic? What did you do? And you hear the constant stories of, I needed to hammer down and focus, and how the shift had changed. Like, I need to focus on building the story, and then anthologies just boom. And I love that it shows the camaraderie, the togetherness in the industry, especially when you're coming out with like anthologies like that. So like those who are looking to break in the industry, or those who are in this industry who are just looking for some advice, like to handle Kickstarter, learning to the ins and outs and everything. What advice would you want to give someone who's listening right now, or think about a advice like a younger person or something like that, or younger self of you that you want to give advice to and everything?
And trying to stay like relevant, or trying to figure out how to get into the industry and whatnot.
Yeah, and especially now with all the changes and everything.
There's a lot of advice I can give. Well, I'm sure trying to stay relevant, so keeping in contact. The biggest one I would have to say is give us 1 minute of your time, quote unquote. And what I mean by that is you have to approach people and make connections. They got to know who you are, and you may have just started drawing, or you have already done this stuff, and you're trying to find a way in. You got to talk to people. You got to make those connections. So that's the very top. Then take critiques. You got to take the worst critique. Like, dude, I've gotten critiqued by Neil Adams, and I've gotten critiqued by, other people who are, worse, but there's a beauty to that. They don't hold back. They tell you exactly what the issue is without sugarcoating it. And that's what people need. People are too sensitive. You got to throw that out the door. You got to ignore that. So take criticism. Underneath that, you got to keep drawing. And what I mean by drawing, make your own stuff. Don't come up with another stupid, different version of Spider-Man or Batman. It's your Spider-Man. It's your Batman. It's already been done. And even if it's different, no one's going to care. And it's not going to happen. That's the reality. So invest your time to make something new. It's not that it's hard in the beginning. And every idea that everyone has, it's dumb. It's the most stupidest thing ever. But you have to keep working on that idea. And when you keep working on that specific idea, you're going to turn it into a beautiful thing. And I promise you, it's going to happen every single time.
Awesome, I love that. And it's the same thing. You can tell people networking. I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's how you really get to know people in the industry. And when they tell people like, yeah, it's a lot smaller than you think, but it's with the whole networking angle when it comes down to it. Because again, people don't know who you are if you don't speak.
Yep.
But
Yep.
thank you for that, man.
Yeah, and definitely don't fall on deadlines. Deadlines are very important. If you do have something with somebody, do the best you can to hit that deadline. Don't make an excuse. No one's going to care if you're sick, if you're dying. Like, no one's going to care. You got to get those pages in. But don't be late on a deadline, because one word from one individual due to a small, close circle, everyone knows everyone, it's going to travel very fast. And, in the independent realm, we all know each other by one way or another, whether there's through a podcast or a show, if we went to school together, et cetera, et cetera. So, definitely, keep it good. Don't be late.
So Zackary, thank you for coming on, sharing Voyage with us, and you're gonna join us
Yeah.
now on our pop culture thing, because I hope you saw Book of Boba and are loving
I
it.
did.
Because
I
again,
did
What have been your thoughts on the season so far?
I
Before we
haven't
jump
got
into it.
past episode 2 because I've been so busy promoting this, but I've heard some things, not anything about what's happened in the episodes, but everyone's looking at me and they're like, and I'm like, okay. The only issue, because I only saw the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
The only issue that I have, because Boba Fett's actually my favorite, my favorite Star Wars character. I think he talks way too much, and he's very ruthless. But the storytelling part of me, and I don't know if anyone pointed it out to you, but I think he's suffering from PTSD, climbing the Sarlacc pit, and just trying to deal with that. So maybe he kind of changed a little bit, which is why he's more interactive with individuals, because he would have just shot people on sight in some instances. And even with the Tusken Raider episode, I was just like, he definitely would have done things differently. So, I think he's definitely suffering from, PTSD through that.
I like that. I don't think anybody's given that comparison. So I really love that they did that you really mentioned that, because we've been trying to point out too, because a lot of people have this, and especially with the old lore before the so to say Snarlax, the Sarlacc pit. Yes, Snorlax pit. We have this idea of Boba that we've all loved and all that and everything, but it's like this is a different point in his life where Val was one of our guest hosts that comes on. She pointed out like, yeah, it's a different Boba. Look at the beginning. That's him and Fennec in that whole room. It's a crime drama. By the end, it's going to be him and all his underlings. He's no longer and that's what I'm trying to point to people too, is that he's saying like, yeah, when he was talking to Chrysanthemum, he's like, don't be about like, don't follow orders anymore. Be your own man, dude. Like, so it's like he's going to be that guy that figures like, yeah, I don't want to be same. But I want to say this, guys. Make sure you're checking out the link in the link in the description. The Kickstarter is there. Let's get him fully funded so that we can get the second anthology out there. Share it with your friends. Share it with your families. Share it with your co-workers. Again, it is called Voyage Melting Pot. It's 200-page hardcover.
Yep, with the dust jacket.
Yo, talk about ambitious. I love it. I'm here for it.
And
Thank you.
And what are some of the rewards that those can get on their tiers and everything?
You're going to get a useless sketchbook in one tier. It's one of the smallest ones, where basically it's just raw material that from all of us to get to our characters and the story. We're going to put that all in a sketchbook, and we're going to just show you the even scripts and stuff like that, examples of what it took to make this, the character designs and whatnot. We're going to give T-shirts as a tier with holographic print. We have an 11x17 like hollow print, so it's like kind of like the colors go wavy and whatnot with the holograms and whatnot. $40, you're going to get the book. That's going to come with a desktop screensaver, and there's even a digital tier. So In the digital tier, we offer all 3 books of Voyage so far. So you get Voyage Anthology 1, Voyage The Call, and then Voyage Melting Pot. And then we just keep building it there to original artwork. So like, let's say, for example, if somebody's interested in my story to purchase the whole story in original artwork, letting it go for like $6,000. And on top of that, you get 2 t-shirts, 2 different desktop screen images, all the Voyage the Call books, including the variants, Voyage Anthology Volume 1, so on and so forth. Like, there's so many things just for the original art tier, because we want to give people their money's worth.
That's dope, bro. Again, guys, the anthology, the link is in the description. Make sure you guys go there, share it with everybody, get this fully funded, because again, you're going to have a beautiful book to add to your collection. So Zackary, I'm gonna give you an out here, because we're gonna get very spoilery with Book of Boba.
It's gonna get real spoiler
to ruin it for you.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Anytime. You're more than welcome, brother.
Oh, glad to
you're more than welcome. Always come back. Anytime. Next time, we definitely get you into the pop culture topic. But again, yeah, we're about to get heavy spoilery, so I don't want to ruin the show for you, because it gets better and better each episode.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta catch up. Like this week, I gotta make it a mission just to catch up.
Put it this way, this last episode, really, these last 2 episodes of Book of Boba really are love letters to Star Wars fans, and they just did them just fantastic.
Yes,
that's good to know. But dude, thank you guys for having me on the show. Thank you for helping me to promote this book. I'm hoping to get more backers by the end of the month. It's been a rough start in the beginning, but
you for sure will. You got this.
But thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it.
And thank you for coming on, brother. Again, and you're gonna let me know when you see those last 2 episodes of Book of Boba, so we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a message. Right? All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a good night, brother.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
And here we are, guys. So now we are going to, and I am going to let Law.
Winston from John Wick. I'm here for that. That would be so dope.
Law, I'm gonna let you take this spot.
Oh boy. This is a big shoes to fill, but we are about to get into the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Let me pull up the episode name just so I can do it right. I can do it like Tone, not let him down. Hold on.
What Star Wars character are we going off for this one?
I want to do it like I want to, but
you don't want to be a deputy, though.
Yo, all right, hold on, because I'm gonna do it. Give me 1 second.
He got it.
We're talking chapter 6. From the desert comes a stranger, and this stranger has a fucking deadly shot. Or we don't know. But right now, Cobb Vanth is on life support. So there goes your spoiler warning. If you guys haven't watched, go watch. What are you doing here? Come back after and watch and tune in, because holy shit. We get Ahsoka. We get the first, Luke's first temple. Yes, Luke is in it with even better CGI, fake technology, de-aging technology than fucking in The Mandalorian. We're getting into it. We got 1 episode left after this. It's going to be amazing.
All right, guys. So we're going to cover Book of Boba this last 30 minutes of the show, because there's a lot to talk about. It was a great episode. Yes. We are love without Tone. We are Tone all love. Yes. Yo, that reveal. Yes, I think there was a lot of how it just, I don't know, people are mixed in with how they did the live version of Cad Bane. Mm-hmm. But I think they really pulled it off with him, and
I think it was really solid from what I've seen in the animated series.
Dude,
how much more do you want from him? You know what I mean? Because it's such a Cad was amazing. It's such a what's the idea?
He's a bad. This episode was definitely a Western. We were happy to see Cobb come back, Cobb Vanth. It was dope seeing Timothy Oliphant. We see now he has a deputy and all that, but then Cad comes in. Cad Bane comes in, and what does he do? he not only shoots the sheriff, he shoots the deputy and signifies why I am a badass. And I think that
Also, the fact that he's working with these guys, like I was like, oh shit. Like, because all right, so if you watched any of Bad Batch, he shows up in Bad Batch and he goes at it with Fennec. So in my head, I'm like, oh, you're playing for the other side. Fennec's playing for Team Boba. I want to see that rematch. I want to see that fight because I don't know. I haven't finished Bad Batch. I think I have like a few episodes left, and I just forgot to like finish. But I want to see him and Fennec go at it because they definitely had a really good fight in Bad Batch.
This show is bringing in all the bounty hunters. That's all I gotta say.
Charlie, what's going on, brother?
Charlie Radio Williams.
Told you was coming, Baby Yoda. Yes, you
did.
Yes,
you did, George. You called it. And so yeah, Grogu makes his appearance back. You see him.
You think he killed the guy? Like
he shot Cobb, but then he emptied the clip and the he was like, oh, you're gonna move.
Yes.
It's like,
George,
come on, that deputy's done.
George is so done with Boba right now. He likes everything else but
Boba. Listen. He was in the episode, George. He was in this episode. He was plotting with his troops. He was there. He was there. Like I said,
ever so briefly.
It's gonna be like this, like my son. Like, that's it.
Man.
He's gonna be the Godfather. But no, Grogu came back. Yes, Magusto. He came back. We see Grogu going through his training now with Luke Skywalker, which again, as you pointed out, Law, better CGI than what I've ever seen. Definitely better than the Justice League one with the Henry Cavill mustache. But no, it's like the de-aging, and I don't think they said that it was Mark Hamill did not voice this Luke Skywalker. So
really,
again, yeah,
I wasn't sure. I felt like it didn't, like he didn't voice it, but I wonder if they use like how you can like program someone's voice into a thing and you can talk like them.
They probably maybe, or they just got a voice actor who really can sound like Hamill.
At this point, give us Sebastian Stan, man. That's all I want. Like even Sebastian Stan is like, yeah, I'll do it. Like if he knows he's my dad, and I'm like, the whole internet is like, let Sebastian Stan be young Luke. Let's do it.
But it was interesting. Again, we got the three Jedis. We see Ahsoka Katana. We see, they need to retcon those last.
Wow. No, we do not voice him large, right? They use technology for his voice. Aha!
There you go. Deep fake technology at its best.
Deep fake is getting real. It's getting way too good.
That's a paycheck that Skywalker lost, man. That Hamill lost. But
we're in the Black Mirror timeline.
But again, it's like this. It was really interesting to see Ahsoka, and I can't say her name right, and Luke, and the fact that she has a connection to Luke's father. This is another Jedi that has a connection with Luke's father. And I know that a lot of Star Wars fans were screaming about this, like going, oh my God, this is dope. This is just seeing these two together. And then she's offering Luke a little bit of advice to, like, with his training with Grogu. And then again, we get he helps Grogu remember, and we get to see a little bit of the prequel trilogy of when younglings were being shot by clone troopers. So who was that helped Grogu get out?
Oh shit! Like I don't think they ever like revealed that. That's a good point. Maybe they'll reveal it in Mandalorian or in this next episode, but we'll see. That's actually a good point that I had never even thought about, like who got Grogu out. And also, is Grogu the only youngling to survive that? Because though we know he is one of them, we don't know that there isn't others out there.
That's a good possibility with that, because because seeing that scene and knowing that he is a survivor of that massacre, there could well be more younglings that are out there. We don't know, and it gives them a lot to play with introducing that backstory for Grogu. But again, it was interesting to see this because it was parallel to when Luke was being trained by Yoda. But now Luke is training someone from Yoda's species.
They made it a point to like make that parallel with putting him in the backpack, the machine, that ball that they use. Like a lot of the same beats were made for that.
Canon survived. Yeah. Again, it's
true.
So the other thing too, I wanted to point out, it was pretty interesting too, because it looks like Mando coming in. Then He looks like a concerned father. He really, really, really. You could see, and even without the taking off the helmet, I want Baby Yoda to choose both.
I want
Yes,
that too.
yes, we do.
I honestly feel like it could happen because didn't they say that
Only a
the
Sith feels
origin,
an absolute.
but didn't they say the origin of the Darksaber was a Mandalorian who was
Yep.
trained as a Jedi? So it's not out of the question, and it would be so dope. I mean, granted, by the time we get to the new trilogy, none of this is gonna happen. But for what it is, this pocket of space there we can freely create and do all these things, I'm here for it, man.
No, I'm again. They're making beautiful worlds in this. I know a lot of people. Yep, that's the Legend of the Dark Saber. We're gonna get more of that. In definitely, they're setting up a lot of stuff for Mandalorian season 3,
Mhm.
and I mean,
They're
I feel
I
like
feel like
this
they're
is
also
Mandalorian
setting
season
up
3.
the Ahsoka show. They're setting up a whole bunch of stuff right now because like there's so much not so much loose threads, but there's like a thing here, and you're like, that's gonna come up later. Like we're gonna see the temple again. I'm guaranteed we're gonna see that temple again. Either it's gonna be an Ahsoka show or it's gonna be another show down the line. I doubt it would be an Obi-Wan show uh because of where the timeline takes place. But who knows? Like I'm so here for this. I cannot wait.
So now with the introduction of Cad Bane in live action, where do we think that we're going with the character? Is he going to be a consistent thorn to our heroes in the Star Wars universe? Is this the end of his line? Who because he has been involved in so many of the animated series now, jumping on
Yeah.
action and working with the Syndicate. And knowing that Amelia Clark is being recasted as a character that she played in the Han Solo movie,
Right.
do we think that we're going to see him tie in with that since, that's Syndicate territory?
I think as of right now, he's a hired gun. So he's where the money is. So right now they're paying him, and he's like, bet, like, don't mess with them because like those are my dudes because they're paying me. But I don't suspect that like he's gonna be around for too much longer, either because Boba Fett like beats the syndicate and like takes them out, whatever the case is, or he ends up I can't like as much as I like him, I want to see Fennec take him out because I watched that fight, like the hallway fight that they had in Bad Batch, and it was so good. So I kind of want to see it.
He goes to he wants Cad Bane. That's what I'm saying. Like
It's better than
maybe
Luke.
this could be the final hurrah that we see of Cad Bane. We don't know what plans they have for him, but Cobb, he is on life support. Do we think he's coming back?
I think we are. I think we are because like I know the creator of his character expressed concerns that like he's such a dope character. I poured all this stuff, and then you guys just kill him off, and it's like, well, even if they did kill him off, because I've had this happen in many a shows. It's literally you hype up a very badass character to show how much more of a threat the villain is. It's an anime trope 101. Rest in peace, Kite. If you know, you know. But essentially, like it might be that, but we don't know because they did say get the medics, and we don't know that that's fate, like how fatal that wound could be. So
We know
I wouldn't close his door. I wouldn't close that chapter on him just yet. I really would love to see him come with his army of of what are they rename the town to?
it's
Freedom,
Freetown.
Freetown.
Freetown, yeah. But yeah, we know the deputy's not coming back because Cad made sure of that.
I kind of
But
feel like I don't want him back. Like I liked him, but he felt very like he's just there for comic relief.
yeah, but with this happening to Cobb, do you think he gets fine? But they need some people to get behind him fighting. Yeah, they needed a reason.
They need a reason, right.
But do you think that Cobb, because like you mentioned, Fennec, but seeing that this has happened with Cobb, do you think that Cobb is going to be the one to face Cad at the end?
Ooh. I don't know. As much as I would like to see it, it could go either way. It could be Cobb or it could be Fennec because they both have like history now with him and whatnot. I would say Cobb definitely wants to smoke way more. Cobb for sure wants to smoke, but Fennec, I think, would at least have his back in that regard. You know,
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go with that. But Jawas and the dragon. So first of all, Jawas are rocking that skull on top of their hoopty. And then we see the dragon rib cage in the bar. So
I
this
just
is
want,
just a great detail.
Jawas with spinners on their ride. Like, just give me Jawas with spinners so we can all have our like. We know you're from the Bronx. Thank you for that.
Listen, the last episode already made me look at Jawas in a new light when she was like, "Hey, I used to date a Jawa," and she spoke Jawa.
Yo, that was
But now
wild.
we see them rocking a skull on top of their hoopty. But it all leads back to back in Mandalorian when they took out that dragon, because now you see that dragon's rib cage in the bar too. It was like, for me, that was just great attention to detail and how the world is continuing to evolve in the Star Wars universe,
And everything's
especially
influencing each other.
yeah. And it's like, it's just that attention to detail just gets me hyped with the lore and the building of the world outside. It's like when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, the DM is still doing stuff on the side because the world is still moving.
Right.
And it was a great way to showcase that the world's still moving and around outside of Boba, Mando, and all that. And it's just beautifully done. And I think that's why the stories are doing better than that new trilogy that came out, because it's just really hyping up that universe. We're seeing a building of the temple. We're seeing different planets. We saw in the last episode a city that's in space, like in a space station, and that was a beautiful visual because it was just like, going around in a circle and all that.
I also want to bring up like how like bringing in Ahsoka, like that wasn't really needed, but it was so perfect because it kind of gave Ahsoka and Luke the that moment. Like it didn't even need to happen on screen, like that moment to grieve Anakin.
Yeah, it was kind of like
they mean
closure.
so. It's closure for both of them, where it's like you were his student, I was, his son, and like that meant so much as a little just sprinkle in that they didn't really need to do, because they kind of sent Ahsoka off in Mando season 2, and we didn't know if we'd see her again until her own show.
Well, we know that Aurelius is waiting for Ezra, so he will be coming.
We all are waiting at this point.
Yeah,
we all are waiting at this point because we almost like we almost know that it's gonna happen, but we just don't know when and why and where.
It's just funny though, because it's like, again, they're bringing a lot of the Clone Wars and the animations characters into this world live action now, and it feels like the current regime that's handling the Mandalorian and Book of Boba saw where they did the mistakes with the new movies, and they're like, oh no,
Dave Filoni are like, it was one of those things where in the beginning a lot of people were trying to like be like, oh, the first 4 episodes, oh my god, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you guys had so much trust in them in the first season and the second season of The Mandalorian, but the minute the first 4 episodes of Boba come out, everyone wants to drop them, like, oh, they fucked up, they didn't do it right. It's like, you have to trust the process. Trust the fucking process, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I called it. It was like, the next few episodes, I was like, they have to hit home runs with, because it did with a slow burn, but it felt like with Book of Boba, it started as a retelling of an origin story of an evolution of the character, because we're seeing an evolution of the character. We're seeing also 2 characters like Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, Katana come out and kind of having a little bit of closure and kind of like a little bit of peace, seeing that the Jedi Temple is being reborn. It's being rebuilt again with the new generation and all that. We're seeing threats that we were only limited in a show that I don't think could be handled in a movie, because we had a conversation on how Captain Phasma was kind of done dirty with the new trilogy, with Captain Phasma was supposed to be a badass, but it's like, I don't feel like we're getting that drop with that.
There was a deleted scene that people have been like dropping on TikTok that I saw, and everyone's like, this does it. It brings her so much more character that we didn't get in the movie. And
Yeah,
like you say all the time, like shows just do give us the chance to like expand on those stories and the characters that movies would never give us the chance to do.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, the Book of Boba, I'm loving it. It's getting better and better and better. It's the show,
Same.
like I said, it's a show that a show that started with a slow burn, and then it also is introducing new concepts into the Star Wars universe. Like we had the greasers, the space greasers on Tatooine, because again, it's like it was just such a different thing to see. But it's like, yeah, after actually, yeah, over time stuff would change. People like the newer generation, but again, just seeing like R2D2 come back, the machinery to have to do the concept art for the robots that are helping build the temple. It's like, dude, it's just this new lush Star Wars world that we're seeing that is just like, dude, this is just fantastic.
Do you think because as of right now, it's seeming like not only are the shows and the new like content that we're getting are retelling this gap in the story, that because all Star Wars has been for all four, or all three of the arcs or trilogies have been essentially a Skywalker story. They have had some Skywalker attachment to them. Now we're getting all this content without really a Skywalker in them, shy of the few times that Luke appears and whatnot. Does this feel like we're gonna get that going on even past the latest trilogy?
I feel what's going to happen is that with Skywalkers, we're going to get them involved in some point, but not in a big way, where it's just like they're like side character.
Other than
NPCs.
Rey, there's no other
Well,
Skywalker.
The new trilogy, I don't know what they're doing with that one, because Palpatine, and also too, we don't know Luke's life prior to the new trilogy. He could have had a bastard child.
We do know a little bit of what they gave us in the flashbacks, like of the temple and whatnot. I don't know that they would. I honestly don't think they'll retcon a lot. I think what they would do is kind of do like a Scott Snyder, where they'll do another piece of something that would expand and explain all of the mishaps or gaps of the latest trilogy.
Also, too, I think what also too, from my belief, is that they want to expand that it is a bigger universe, not just stick into that same pocket. So if they do bring something that's tied into Skywalker, I mean, I guess we'll see in the later shows, but it's cool to see this version of Luke as the teacher. He's not the main character, not the main focus. Skywalker is not the main focus. And we're getting bits of the journey of rebuilding the temple, but we're also seeing how it has how the effect of outside characters that weren't involved in those earlier trilogies and everything. And then with Boba is bringing in a lot of that stuff from with the prequel trilogy, where we did see like the remembrance of his father who was killed by Mace Windu. We are seeing Did
you hear that someone said like he wants to do a thing where he hunts down Mace Windu in the event that Mace Windu is still alive, because we still don't know, it's never been confirmed or denied, that he wants to do a episode or show, whatever the case is, where he goes to find him and gets the revenge that he wants on him for killing his father.
Well, I mean, it would be interesting to see that. And where has Mace been this whole time? Where is his head at? If they do something like that, and that's a big what if. Which it would be cool to see, like the whole thing about Mace Windu, like what was it, but again, what has he been doing all these years, and where has been his involvement if he's still alive? But I highly doubt. But it would be cool. It would. The other thing too about it is, again, we're definitely getting the deep lore from Mandalore. We're seeing it in Book of Boba. We're seeing the Naboo fighter get turned into like a hot rod. And it was just pretty interesting, like how people are like, "Oh, that's a Naboo fighter. I haven't seen one of those in a while." And I think that that's a cool way of exploring this world with like stuff that they haven't seen pre-Empire. I was like, "Oh yeah, that."
Well, it's also a good way of making you like the prequel trilogy isn't great, but it has a lot of good charm, and we liked it for what it was when we watched it as kids or whenever we did watch the first time. Granted, as as we got older and as that trilogy aged, we saw the flaws in it. We saw the things that were like, it didn't quite work. But there's still a little bit of nostalgia there. And I think they're doing a good job with not only giving us the nostalgia, but making us look back at those movies with like a sense of like, oh man, like if they had a chance to do this, they could have done it, but they're doing it now, and it makes us appreciate those movies that much more.
Yeah, it is, and again, it's just that little detail in a world that reintroducing it just lets you know, and it reminds you how big this world is, because you wouldn't be able to give these little details and this little love to the fans if this was in a movie. And that's why it works as a show. And again, even though some people feel like Book of Boba, not my Boba, he is growing as a character. He cannot stay that character. I mean, he is still ruthless, but now it's like there's this sense of ruthless and calm in him. And he knows that he has to be this calm character. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to have an army. He's not going to be a crime boss. He's not going to be a leader. And it's like you're seeing him go from being the ruthless bounty hunter to the calm, collective leader that
it's
we're
happened
getting.
in almost every crime show, crime whatever, like that we've seen throughout any piece of media. When you are trying to become the Don or the Godfather, whatever you want to call it, you aren't necessarily the person who gets their hands dirty. You aren't necessarily the person who is still doing like, doing shit like you're an underling. You have to have a different mindset. And I think that's what they're showing with Boba is like, he said it in the beginning. He doesn't want to be the person who's being sent out to die for people who don't really care about him.
Also to cover it, because I know a lot of people in the last few weeks have been talking about like, oh, why didn't he just rock it out? He didn't rock it out that scene when they all surrounded him, because again, it would have shown a scene of weakness and him running away. He and his ruthlessness was also shown on display when he rocketed that guy. That was overkill. We do get hints of ruthlessness from him, like his past on it. Like they go, oh well, he let this little robot go. Like it's fine, whatever. But look what he did with those bikers when he got his ship back. He didn't waste any time. It's like you're gonna rock it on your ass. But it's like we're seeing like again,
about to be riding a Rancor throughout the streets of like, are you serious?
That's just the show in his hand. But I am excited to see tomorrow's episode. I know I always pointed out like I can't wait for you guys to like we should do it on Wednesday, the day up. But we want to give people time to watch it.
Right.
So we're looking for. So next week's episode is going to be good because the first 30 minutes we're going to have a creator series. We're going to do again Peacemaker coverage. We're going to kind of combine the two episodes because there is a lot that happened in this episode, but I feel like there's a few points to talk about because again, and just to let you guys know, as I am Peacemaker, the entire police precinct is taken over by bugs, and we're definitely gonna dive into that, but I think we're gonna have a really great thing because they've hinted that his father and him are going to fight next episode. And then the finale of Book of Boba. Also, too, if you guys are watching Vox Machina, on February 22nd, our February 22nd show, we are going to cover everything Vox Machina. It is a great D&D show based off Critical Role. We will have Tommy on, who has been running the Collateral campaign. And the first show in March, we are going to be talking about Attack on Titan. So we are diving into Attack on Titan, which I know Tone has been foaming at the mouth, ready to go because he read the book.
Nice, honestly, to switch gears from like the Disney, the HBO, like the mainstream show, like not even mainstream, but like we've gotten so much. If we think about it, like since we've gone live, we've gotten so much content from just those two sources.
And we're eventually going to cover Demon Slayer because again, there's a lot of catching up with there's just so much content.
Budget, like, all right, understand if they had the budget that they had for Mugen Train, they did that for every episode because oh my god, it's been wild.
Beautiful show. It's a beautiful animation.
Yes, Attack on Titan, we're doing it
out there for DC fans. Naomi is a great show. It's pretty good. Again, it's one of the shows on CW. Naomi has been me and my wife been watching religiously right now. It's a pretty good show.
Outside of like what we're talking about, what have you been watching? Like what's been the stuff?
It has been so I've been watching Naomi. I've just started watching a zombie show. We're All Dead on Netflix. It is another Korean show on Netflix. Because a lot of great Korean content coming out of there, and it is a horror show, which I do recommend.
Oh, that's dope. I did not know that.
Ooh. My Gusto
Dropping-
hitting, so it's dropping knowledge.
Fun facts.
And what else? I've actually been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because I just wanted to see it, and I just love how ridiculous it is.
I've heard and I'm just like, it's not for me.
It's a hit or miss for people. That's what I'm gonna say. If you're either gonna like it or you're gonna hate it. And I could see why people make fun of the whole thing. It is Dio Brando. It is just so over the top.
Like a bantha. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you. And what else we've been hitting up? I mean, what else have you been watching outside of the shows we've been covering?
So I did Vox Machina. I've been doing season 2 of Euphoria, though we're not going to talk about it here. Euphoria has actually been insanely good and incredibly well written and shot, all of it. I finally caught up on Tokyo Revengers. Like, I finished it. Oh my god, that show is fucking tragically heartbreaking so much, but it's so good. I finished Tact OP Destiny. It's a really good one. And what was the other one that Platinum End I'm currently watching now is another anime.
Yeah, it's
Stan users.
Yes, fucking Stan users. Also too, if anybody's looking for another good zombie flick, on Netflix, you have The Kingdom, which pretty much takes like feudal like Japan and mixes it with or like Korea. I gotta look it up. I think it's Japan or China. But it doesn't matter. It's like that feudal. It does matter. But again, it just takes that period and introduces the concept of zombies to it. So imagine you don't have guns and you have to fight zombies with swords. And it's just it's supposed to be getting a season.
Swords are unlimited ammo, brother.
Tell that to a horde of zombies that is chasing you, and all you have to defend yourself is a sword.
But guns jam, guns run out of ammo. I get it. Hordes of zombies, not fun, but you get them funneled in, you just you're good to go. Listen, big brains here. We've done this.
But we know Raising Dion season 2 is out. So it's definitely
I have to watch that. I haven't had a chance to watch it. There's also, I don't know how many people watch Disenchanted. That's like my throw my brain out the door and just fucking have a good laugh. Disenchanted is hilarious, and the new season drops tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
until your blade breaks, and then you have to sharpen your blade.
And yes, I'm trying to go to Japan. I've been wanting to go for the last few years. I was supposed to go for my 40th birthday. My 40th birthday is next month. Yes, I am going to be 40. I am giving away my age.
Big
oh yeah. But no, this has been a fun episode. Again, guys, check out the Kickstarter link for Zackary Marois, his comic that's out there. We covered it earlier, so if you want to watch the episode on demand, go back to the beginning, watch the episode. So you can learn more about the comic that he has out with the Kickstarter and everything. Share it with your friends, share the link, share it with your coworkers. If you have any good show recommendations, definitely send that to us. Put it in the comments because we're always looking for new shows to cover. I know we're going to be covering Moon Knight. We got a lot of other things, but Attack on Titan and Vox Machina we're going to be covering, and we're going to let you guys know when we're covering Demon Slayer. And we're just looking at the next anime list and new shows and everything.
We also have an announcement because there's something happening on Sunday. Seabass.
Ooh, wait, what's Sunday? Oh, I have forgotten that. Thank you.
I got you, fam. I got you.
Thank you. So, guys, I am going to give you a code. I am going to give you a beautiful code.
We got you. We got you.
If you are looking to get into voice acting, that is the code that you're going to use. And I am going to drop the link for you. So you're going to use that code to get 25% off. It is a voice acting masterclass hosted by Beyond Mag. The masterclass is going to feature Keiko, who we've had on the show before, who's done MLA Entertainment. So again, you guys want to check out this masterclass. I am going to drop the link down for you in the comments so that this way you can schedule it.
I just dropped it.
Just dropped it.
I had it already saved for my Twitch stream earlier.
So yeah, this is again, it's happening this Sunday. Keiko from
3
MLA
p.m.
Entertainment,
Eastern.
3 p.m. Yeah, Eastern time. Use this code to get 25% off on the admissions. Again, there is going to be an hour of just advice and everything and training on it. And Keiko has worked with people like Tom Aglio, who's done like Papa John commercials and everything. And he's working with Funimation now. She has helped people train them in voice acting who've gone on to go work for Funimation and other anime studios, television commercials, audio podcasts. So if you're looking to do all that stuff, you definitely want to do that. And then there will be a Q&A section.
Nice. He's gonna enjoy it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna enjoy it again, and Keiko is awesome and sweet.
If
And
you
she
guys
has,
haven't heard, we still have the voice acting panels that she did like
yes,
this
at
this
Indiana.
year, last year as well. So go check that out as well if you guys are interested and want to know what you're getting yourself into.
Definitely. And again, that code is going to be used for all future classes that are going to happen in Beyond, because Beyond Mag is looking to bring industry professionals with these master classes to help teach people. There may be one in animation for people who are looking to do animation, so keep your eyes out on that. So these are going to be new things, and that code would get you 20%, this 25% off admissions. So make sure you guys check it out. Share it with your friends who are also interested in getting into voice acting or who want to learn or network. This is going to be that that class for them. All right, so that is
last
the
but not
show.
least, speaking of animation, the Medusa's Cascade. We've said it and we're fucking hype. I've been seeing the fucking behind the scenes. We're getting an animation for the Medusa's Cascade Collateral Damage podcast. Oh my god, it looks so good. So if you guys aren't caught up already, go check out the Medusa's Cascade Collateral Damage podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Apple, Google, the entire works. Please go check it out because I'm so excited.
Definitely, if you want to see some of the artwork for the Medusa's Cascade that's going on right now for the animation, some of the concept art is posted on Art of Hutch on Instagram. So it has been posted on there, so you can see some of the character art that's being done. So the Medusa's Cascade is being turned into that. And I'm excited for that animation and everything. Again, voice actors needed. So this has been a fun episode. It's been me and Law holding it down. Tone, we love you, brother. High five. High five.
There we go.
And we are gonna have some more news for you guys in the upcoming weeks because there is just some more stuff in the pipeline. So again, it's been your boy Sebastian.
It's been your boy Law.
And Tone, we miss you, bro.
Tone's in bed sleeping,
bro. He's in bed sleeping. Sleep tight. So again, see you guys next week.
Bye guys.